Stephen Smith, and today I'm going to talk to you about press man from a cover one, off man cover one, teaching principles and fundamentals. A little bit about my background. So I was a Texas high school football coach for 8 years. I worked at Cedar Hill High School, that's in South Dallas. We won 3 state championships in 6A football when I was there. I was selected to coach on the Texas High School Coach Association All-Star staff. That was chosen by our peers. I was lucky enough to work as assistant defensive back coach at University of Tennessee, and I worked at Baylor University for 1 year. So that's a little bit about my background. I learned defensive back from some really good guys, Willie Martinez, Bob Shoup, guys like that, who I learned under and kind of studied under. So this is my presentation, cover one. So first of all, if we're in a cover one, if we're in a meeting, this is my install. So I'm going to install this like I would day one install with my guys in my position room. So we're talking about cover one. Well, what is cover one? Okay, obviously cover one, all that refers to it's cover one. We're going to play with one middle of the field safety. So corners, we own all of one. That's simple. Okay, so the first thing we do, we're going to give them the visual. We're going to show them conceptually what this looks like. We give them a 2x2 and a 3x1, so we give them a balance set, then give them a 3x1 set. So this is very, very simple. It explains itself. Okay, so after we give them the big picture, we can break it down into smaller segments for our individual positions. Okay, but we play this like everybody else does. We play a 2-on-1 Reggie with the mic and the wheel. Now obviously, you can do it. You can add on, so now you get a 5th rusher, or you can have him spy the quarterback. You can make him be the rap player, however you want to play that. But I think everybody plays cover one basically the same. Okay, so now we just go through different formations, show them conceptually what different formations looks like. So anywhere from a 3-bys to 2x2s. Okay, so we just talk about everything that we get. So the thing that I think that we did better than a lot of people, we talk about the problematics. When we talk about problematics, we always talk about what are the things that give us trouble. So the number one thing that we always talked about when we're in cover one, we always talked about what kind of principle is it. So we talked about cover one as a Tokyo principle. So we always talked about China and Tokyo before the pre-snap. So a China principle, we'd give a China signal before every call. China would be like cover 4, where the corner is responsible for the vertical route of number 2. So obviously in a cover 1 setting, okay, that's going to be a Tokyo call for our guys. It's a man-to-man principle. Okay, so now we're talking about the problematics. So the problematics of this would be you get a bunch set. So obviously you get a bunch set. It could be any kind of man beater. It could be working a double post off of it. So it just depends on conceptually what you're getting. But we play this 2 different ways. So the number one way we'd play it, we'd press the point with the nickel, or if this is a Y right here, a big tight end, we'd probably move our safety down. So we're talking about if the ball's on the inside. So the nickel's going to press the point, safety's going to be 4 to 5 yards off, and then the corner is going to be 1x7. So all we're doing, we play levels. So now we're pressing the point, he's locked on, stay on, so now we're just playing man off this. So that's why we're playing inside leverage with the corner. So we can also play it, we like to play what we call a gumbo in a different way. If they motion to a bunch set, so now we're essentially going to lock the nickel right there. Now we're going to play in and out right here between the safety and the corner. So that's how we do that. If we got any kind of stacks or any crunch sets, we'd also play that the same way. Where we have the ability to play top hat, or we can play in and out based on what we're getting, through film study. Now, if we get any kind of motion, so it's just a simple 2x2 set right here. So I think everyone does this. So what we do a really good job of is cross-training our guys in the back end to all be middle of field players, because at some point they might end up being the middle of field player. So if I get any kind of jet motion or cross motion out here, all we're going to do, what we call rock and roll, we're just going to spin down to it. Right there, now my nickel becomes the middle of the field player. So we get any kind of motion to empty. Now the back motions out to empty. Whatever side the back goes, now my man, my move. So that's how we'd play that right there. So I like to give them the full concept, teach them the fundamentals of it, and then go into our teaching of it. So for me, when I'm talking about an off-man teacher progression, the number one thing that I always talk about, I want to talk about the stance. Okay, what is your stance? Are we in a good football position stance? Talk about the alignment and the assignment. Okay, so what is our alignment? What's our assignment? Our eyes. Where are our eyes at? What are our read keys? What's my pedal? What's my leverage? What kind of leverage am I maintaining? My braking, my drive, and obviously the most important would be my finish. So talking about our stance. So we teach our guys in a good stance. I want to have some bend on my ankles, bend a little Z right here in my knee, my chest over knees, knees over toes. Okay, nose over toes is a little kitchen thing we tell our guys. I'd like to see this player right here to have a little bit more bend in the stance, but he's playing the left corner. So as a left corner, he's going to have his left foot up. He's going to be staggered in the stance. He's going to be in a heel-toe relationship. Okay, so you see a lot of guys will come up, like our guys, they'll come up and they'll scrape the ground right there. So now that ensures that they're in a really good football position. Okay, so for me, the number one thing is, like, I want to take pride in this stance. Okay, that's the number one thing that we talk about when we talk about stance. Heel-toe relationship. Also, make sure your weight distribution is on the instep of your feet. You're ready to go, so you can transition your footwork back and get going. So our alignments, just like everybody else, our alignments are based upon our divider rules. So our divider rules, as you're looking at it right here, the ball's on the defensive left hash. So we talk about our divider rules, it's going to be on the numbers right here. So because he's numbers +1, or he's at the bottom of the numbers, he's going to play inside leverage. Okay, so we tell our guys you're going to be 7 by 1, so 7 yards off the man by 1 yard inside. So we want to take away the quick slant. We want to take away the short, clean, quick throw by the quarterback. So that's why we play with inside leverage right here. So any kind of plus split, we're going to play with inside leverage. A normal split, we're going to play with inside leverage. Now, if we start to get like condensed sets where we get a crack split, a jelly split, a minus split, we're going to play that more of a tip to tip. We're never going to press that. We'll play that off. Hey, now moving over here. So because the ball is on the defensive left hash, we tell our guy over here, your divider is going to, our corner, number 1 should be anywhere between the hash and the number is where number 1 is going to be. Now obviously this is a 3 by 1 set, so they're going to their space is going to be a little bit farther out, but we've already talked to our guy about this is a plus split up here, so we see he's still going to keep inside leverage right there. So obviously knowing your divider rules is going to tell you where your alignment's going to be. Okay? So our read keys. So what we teach what we call pace out. We pace out, a walkout technique. So essentially what we're doing, so if I'm the right corner right here, my eyes, I'm reading through the quick game. I'm reading through the quick to the quarterback. So if the quarterback's in the shotgun, so all we're reading is catch, ball to ear. So in my mind, if I see catch, ball to ear, I know that's a quick game route. So now I'm going to transition my eyes back to the hips, number 1, to my receiver. Now, as I do that, in my mind, I'm thinking he's going to make a shorter route. So he's going to drop his hips a little quicker. So I'm anticipating that. So as soon as I see him drop his hips, now I'm going to come to more of a controlled pedal. Now I'm going to match him step for step. So that's if I see a 3-step from under center, or if I see a catch and ball to ear. Now, if it's not catch and ball to ear, now it's a true drop back, a 5-step. So as I see that right there, now I transition my eyes back. So now I got to pick up my pedal. So a receiver's trying to eat up your cushion. I want to pick up my pedal as fast as I want to pace out, go faster, faster, faster to keep my cushion. So in our mind, we've already talked to our guys. You know, a 5-step drop. Okay, so the number 1 receiver, his breaking point is going to be anywhere from 10 to 14 yards. So that's what we teach our guys right there. So a couple of things that we talk about. Obviously, the indicator for a wide receiver, looking at his hips. Okay, but the main thing is we're pacing out, we're walking out, we're trying to read the quick game off the quarterback. That's going to be our read key. That's going to be our clue right there. So in order to get really good at this, what we do, we put this in our everyday drills. We call this a pace drill. So all I'm doing right here, I'm going to start these guys off. I'm just going to walk them back. So you'll see them, they're just going to walk back. Now I give them another one. So that indicates the receiver's picking up his vertical route. So as he increases, you got to increase your pedal. And now I'm going to give him a third one. Now the thing that I like that we do, we always incorporate a ball in drills, and we try to work a transition drill. So although we're working a pace technique, we're also incorporating 2 different drills. So he walks out, picks up his pedal. Now he should be in a full pedal. Now I'm just going to transition him out. Try to finish with the ball, pick up your pedal. Now you should be full. Transition out, catch the ball. It's no different than walking through the quarterback, seeing the quick game from the quarterback. So now I like to always add game or practice application whenever we talk about something. So now the guy, this is why we do this drill. This is why we play this technique, so they can actually see it in practice. They can see it while we're doing it. So I like his stance at the top. You see, he read through the quick game. Eyes go back to number 1. That's a great play. He wants to flatten out that slant route right there. This is why we play inside leverage. This is why we work a pace technique. This is why we're reading through the quarterback for the quick game. See where his eyes are at right now? He walks out, eyes go back, reads the route, go catch the ball. This is a good view of where his eyes are. So he's looking at the quarterback. He's going to walk out of it, read quick, eyes go back. Now flatten out the slant, make the play on it. It's a good job. So keeping with our eyes on our indicator, so we always talk about the hip of the wide receiver will tell us everything we want to know. So just a simple drill that we work. Just eyes down, trying to match the hip. So as he sinks, I'm going to sink. When he drops his hips, I'll drop my hips. We're just working on a 5-yard out right here. I'd like to see the guys really work on securing with the left hand and then making a play with the right hand using a long arm technique right there. So that guy right there is just playing the drill. So our leverage, obviously, so we're talking about if it's a normal split plus split, we want to keep 7x1, that 1 being our inside leverage, 1 yard inside leverage. Okay, so we want to deter that quick, easy slant. So how do we do this? So we're getting stemmed by a wide receiver. We want to use what we call it a weave technique. So we'll get to a weave technique. But when we teach our guys to pedal, okay, we teach something real simple. Okay, I want to pedal at the height of my stance. So if I'm in a really good stance, I want to stay in this. I want to stay here throughout my pedal. Okay, so pedal at the height of your stance. Keep your feet low to the ground, knees bent, eyes up, chest up. Okay, and almost rub your ankles, and then that makes sure that you keep a good base underneath you and your feet don't get too far apart. So we're talking about our weave technique. This is just another tool we put in our guys' toolbox. Some people use a weave technique. Some people use a stem technique. So we like to teach a weave technique. So the thing I like about what these guys do, we're really gaining ground. We're really working, staying square, good pedal, keeping inside leverage, make them weave back. Now throw a transition in there, finish with the ball drill. So I want them to get as much depth as possible. Maintain inside leverage. Transition, finish with the catch. So that's just a weave drill. Now, a weave drill and application. So you see his leverage, he's on pedal, keeps leverage, now he just becomes a receiver. Because we're in cover 1 right here, he can be the aggressor on an in-breaking route like that. He knows he has a middle field player, so he can be the aggressor. The middle field player would be what we call the protector. Put the ball in your outside arm, tuck the ball away, and go finish. Okay, so our break and drive, so we've been talking about the hips of the wide receiver. So that's going to be our break indicator. So we know when a wide receiver drops his hips, we should be ready to plant and drive to the upfield shoulder. So we always look about on an out or anything, we want to break to the upfield shoulder. Right? So a couple things. So now I can really work my long arm technique, and also if I get a double move, I'm going to be already in position to make a play on that double move. Okay, when we do that, we feel that's important to keep everything within the framework of our body. Don't step outside the framework of your body. So we tell our guys, you have a fence around your body. You can't step out of that fence around your body. Okay, so as you do that, we don't want to get overextended. We want to work sharp, direct angles. So no wasted movements. We don't want to round anything coming out of our breaks. Sharp, quick angles, sharp, quick edges. That's what we tell our guys. Okay, we tell them you have 1 step to stop your backward momentum, and I got 1 step to drive myself and pull myself through, a recovery step. And so anything, we tell our guys, open technique is anything going away from the line of scrimmage, and the drive technique is anything going to the line of scrimmage. So a simple drill that we always try to incorporate, like camp drills, day 1 drills, just a 4-cone drill. So we get them to drive, break and drive at 90, making them come down 45, get them into their open technique, do a couple of different ways that we can get this. So we're going to start him in the left corner stance. He's going to backpedal beyond that cone. So he knows what foot he's stepping with first. Backpedal past the cone, plant and drive. I don't care if they T-step or they foot fire, either way. Now he's going to break at 90. Always incorporate some kind of a ball drill in there. Good angle, pull yourself through. Now he's in his crossover. Now he kind of rounds that at the top. I didn't like how he rounded it at the top. Work sharp angles. Don't rowdy anything. Come straight down. Break it at 90. Catch the ball. So always trying to incorporate ball, working plant, drive, working sharp angles right here. So you'll see the corner at the bottom. So this is game application. Okay, third and long, big game against Oklahoma. So he's going to go fall back to his training. Opens up, drives, works down to the upfield shoulder, fakes the wide receiver. It's a big stop for us. That's drill work coming back into play. More fundamental work, so now we're going to zone turn them quick, make them come the opposite direction. Open up, come down, keep everything in the framework of your body, work a sharp angle. Snap your head around. Don't overextend. See how he overextended out the framework of his body? Keep everything in the framework of your body. Sink your hips. So a simple drill that I think everybody does, we just do a simple W drill. So just really getting them focused on plant foot, drive foot, one step to recover, one step to pull yourself through. Plant foot, drive foot, put your foot down, let's go. Always finishing with the ball. Good rep. Okay, so we're talking about breaking to the upfield shoulder. So this is going to be an example of an out and up. So now as I get them, as I get them in a pedal, I want them to break down at a 45-degree angle, as if they're breaking down on an out route. So if he's breaking towards my upfield shoulder, so once he goes out and up, now our guys are already going to be in position to wedge our guy, use our wedge technique. Now I'm going to become the receiver. So something real simple. There's a good rep right here at the top. Having him pedal, he's going to break down. Now he's going to become the receiver. Now he's working the wedge. Now go get the ball. Go catch the ball at its highest point. I'm down, work. Now I'm already in position. Now just wedge the guy, just working a double move. Good rep right there, both those guys. So obviously we want to play with great fundamentals, great technique, but we know that we're not always going to be in position to make plays. So we try to teach our guys different finish techniques. So a couple of drills that we use. Okay, so we just set this up. We coined the term. A lot of guys, when they're using their long arm technique, they want to, they'll secure the tackle, but they want to try to wave at the ball. Instead, we coined the term, put a glove on it. So it's no different than a first baseman playing baseball. He's going to stick his glove out at the last second to receive the ball. But we want to do the same thing. We don't want to swat at the ball. We want to put a glove on it. Put a glove on it and be violent with it. So this is just a way, a reaction drill. So the more things we can do, especially read and react, and then a finish drill on top of this, we feel is beneficial for our guys. So we'll just start him in a back pedal, and now give him a direction. Now he's going to finish on the ball. He don't wave at it. He punches through the ball. He's violent with it. So he's securing. He's working the long arm technique. So it's a good drill, a good finish drill. So we teach our guys what we call a wedge technique. So when I'm in phase, I want to use a good wedge technique on the wide receiver. So I want to get him off this fade line. I want to look and lean. I want to use my body and get him off this fade line. Always looking up, never looking back. Don't lose the receiver. Get him off the fade line. Now I become the receiver. Go catch the ball at its highest point. The drill application. So just from press, same thing. Look and lean. Get him off the fade line. Get hip to hip with him. Close that space out. Corner down here at the bottom does a great job using this technique here. Get him off the fade line. Close that air out. Now he becomes a receiver. High points the ball. Big play for us. Rivalry game. Okay, so we teach a long arm technique. So if I'm breaking over here, I want to secure the tackle with my right arm and use my left arm right there. This simple technique where it becomes muscle memory for our guys. So they don't have to think, they just react to it. So he should be securing the tackle with his right, using his long arm as his left. Not bad. Don't wave at it, put a glove on it. Just simple drills that you can do to teach your guys finishing on routes. So long arm drill and application. The nickel does a great job here. He's beat, he has a speed turn. and then he'll make the play using his left arm to get the ball out. Secure with your right, get it out with your left. Great job getting the ball out. Finish, finish, finish. You'll see the safety. Half-field safety right here, making the play, using his technique right here. Securing it, secure the tackle with one arm, use your long arm to get the ball out. Nickel at the top, same drill. Excellent rep. That's why we work the drill. Okay, so we teach an out of phase drill. When I'm out of phase, I want to play the hands. Out of phase, playing the hands. So we do this without using the ball, just making them play on the hands when they're out of phase. So if they can't sit back, if they can't touch their hip, we tell them they're out of phase. So now he's going to have to play the hands. Finish on the hands. Always finish on the hands. Work a back shoulder technique. Corner at the top. Out of phase drill. Finish on it. Out of phase, he throws the hands. Finish on the hands. Get the ball out. Out of phase. Right? So now we're going to get into more of our press man technique. So our press man technique is still going to continue with the stance. Okay, so obviously we're going to change our stance. We teach to be more of a squared stance instead of a staggered stance. Our alignment, we still want to keep the inside alignment. Eyes, so our eyes are going to be a little different. We're in press man. Our eyes, we're not going to read to the quick game. When we're in that, we're going to be looking eyes on thighs. We're going to use either a mirror technique or a motor technique, whichever our guys feel more comfortable with, and then obviously the finish. So our stance, when we're talking about a press technique stance, our feet are going to be shoulder width apart, slightly outside shoulder width. Okay, we're going to keep the weight distribution off your heels. Make sure you have good bend in your knees and good bend in your ankles. Be in a good football position. We want to be in a level stance, not staggered. Keep our hands up, ready to strike instead of down on our side. So I think this is a good stance of press alignment right here. The only thing that I don't like where his eyes are. I want his eyes on the thighs right here. Eyes on thighs. That's what we teach our guys. Those are your read keys. Those are where you should be looking. Okay, so we want to take away the inside release, so we keep slight inside leverage. Okay, obviously this is based upon a divider rule. If we get any kind of condensed set, we're not going to press a condensed set. If we get a mind split, we're not going to press that as well. Okay, we tell our guys you want to be 1 to 2 yards off the wide receiver based upon where he's at, if he's on the line or off the line. Okay, so we teach our guys with longer arms, longer corners. You can be about 2 yards off because you'll be able to recover from that. You got long arms. Okay, our eyes. We want to focus on the thighs of the wide receiver. We believe that giving a player a visual key is paramount. Okay, so some people will tell them, look at the belt buckle. We tell them eyes on thighs. You're giving them a reference point. You're telling them to keep their eyes low. So we also tell them to use step-in-place footwork. Okay, we want to be patient at the line of scrimmage. The more patient I can be at the line of scrimmage, the more I feel like I can disrupt the timing of the route or the wide receiver's route. We tell our guys, if you can win the first 3 yards of the line of scrimmage, or the release of the receiver, you're going to win the route. So a mirror and motor technique. So these are two different things. Okay, so we teach both of them. So one guy might be better at mirror, one guy might be better at motor. It's okay. We want to put as many tools in your tool bag as possible. Okay, so when we talk about, first of all, our eyes are going to be on thighs on both of them, mirror or motor. The only difference is in a mirror technique. So now, as I'm in my stance, I'm just going to use step-in-place footwork and mirror the movement of the wide receiver. As opposed to a motor technique, now I'm going to inch back or I'm going to scooch back. I'm going to take small 16 steps back. I'm going to give ground to gain ground on that wide receiver. Still staying square. I'm never going to open the gate. Okay, the only thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take a good angle kick. So we teach our guys, if we get a release down the cylinder, I can work a two-hand jam, but now as he releases and he's outside my cylinder, now I drop one hand, now it becomes a one hand. Okay, always tell your guys, you reroute with your feet. You don't your hands are, that's bonus. Okay, reroute with your feet, with your footwork. Okay, so a couple of things that we talk about when we reroute a guy. I want to make sure when I reroute, I'm gonna make sure I keep my head back, and when I reroute, I always want to keep my hand up, use my thumb, and my aiming point is at the breastplate or the tip of the shoulder. So the tip of the shoulder right here is going to be my aiming point. Okay? Don't cross your feet over. Never open the gate. Never give a receiver a chance to counter you. So just a simple footwork that we use for a mirror technique. Very simple, eyes on thighs. Use step replace footwork, step replace footwork. Now work and release. Good angle kick right there. Good release. Just working an outside release, footwork, step replace, be patient. Good angle. So that's just a simple mirror technique. Step replace footwork. That's what we teach our guys. Step replace footwork, eyes on thighs, don't cross over. Good angle pedal. Angle kick. So I'm just using a couple press technique clips. So I have them already started up, working a two-hand, transition to a one-hand. Starting at two-hand, you get an outside release, go back to the one-hand. Okay, so our motor technique, we just focus on taking small 6-inch steps back. We're going to scooch back. We're going to take small steps back. Okay? We're going to give ground to gain ground. Our eyes are still down at the thighs. We're still staying square. We're still being patient. Okay? So obviously not opening the gate. Okay, it's the same thing. Don't cross over. Don't make sure you take a good angle kick right here. Reroute with your feet, not with your hands. So when we work right here, we're just going to give them a direction. We're going to get them back. So this right here represents, so if he gives you an outside release to this side, so now we're just going to, this tells us this is where our angle should be. That's where our angle should be right there. So as I inch back or scooch back, now just open up and stay on that line right there. Stay patient. Scooch back, work your release. Okay, so if you want to keep your guys, so we added this to it. So now we're working it in the shoots. Keeping them low. Now we're working an outside release to the right. Back, open up. Good job. Inch back. Working outside release. And then doing it when you're working against a wide receiver. Inch back, stay square, work and release. Okay, so these are just fundamentals, cover one. If you have any questions, you can get me on my email. My email is coachsmittyut15@gmail.com. Thank you.